come over here so you can look at that camera.
What is looking at that camera? I thought a podcast had
That's the moneymaker shot.
Yeah, come over here so everybody can see, so all the ladies can see your mug.
Yeah, right. This mug needs to half its size.
Welcome to TwinCast. We're a podcast where we pick up an old game, we turn it around in our hands, and we try to ascertain if it holds up today. So we have a very special guest today. We have Mr. Blue Devil himself.
Yeah, just regular special, not very.
And we got a Yellow Devil over here too.
That's right.
And I'm the top Red Devil.
Red Devil.
I'm the Red Devil.
Always.
I'm the
winner,
spiciest.
of course.
King of the hill.
We actually just got done with a Devil Dice session here. That's the game we're talking about today. It's going to be a little bit more of a free-flowing conversation today. We don't need to dive too deep into this game. It's an action puzzle platforming game from 1998.
Multiplayer, single player, 2-player, co-op.
Yeah.
It's got it all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just give a brief description of here. And it was developed in Japan, and its name in Japan was Sai, S-A-I. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Devil Dice here in America, apparently video game companies weren't afraid of the devil anymore. So
We were past the satanic.
the satanic head was good.
Yeah. Yeah, we were embracing it.
And it was published by Sony Computer Entertainment for publication here in the United States. So, I'm going to throw it over to Sperry first. Tell us your memories of this game as we played when we were teenagers.
Right. So when you brought it up to me the first time, the first thing I instantly thought was "F you guys," because it's a very competitive game in the competitive, because not only are you trying to win, but everyone can come steal whatever you're doing, and you can steal what they're doing, but they can steal it back. So that was my first thing that came to my mind.
So when we played back in the day, and we were like, "Hey, come play this game with us," and you would hop in, and you would be trying, and we felt like ringers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
you're like
that.
"F you guys."
I still feel that way.
All right, Clark, why don't you give a brief overview of how this game plays?
All right, so there's several different modes, so you can play in different ways, but the high level overview of what this game is it's sort of a puzzle game, where you described it as an action platforming puzzle game, but you control little devils that are rolling on dice. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to roll the dice on a field. So there's a square grid field, and so it's pretty rigid. When you're rolling the dice, you stick to the different grid, and so obviously when you're rolling, it flips the dice over to the different sides. And so the general gist of it is, as you're rolling the dice, you're trying to make combos. So you're trying to line up the different numbers together, and so if you're trying to line up twos, you need to get two twos in a row to start a combo. If you're doing threes, three threes, and so on, up to 6. And after you make the combo, they start disappearing into the ground, and that gives you a short window to jump onto another dice and try to roll another number of the same color,
as it's going down
to try to combo it. And so that's like the general overview of what you're trying to do, and it throws different things into, like, there's a puzzle mode where you're just trying to line dice up in a certain number of moves before you can move on, or there's like what we started with, like a battle mode where it's just 5 players on a field rolling dice all over the place,
and it's very hectic.
It is hectic.
Let me ask you this: is there anything like that today in today's market, of games that you can play like that?
I think Bomberman is kind of similar. If I remember, it's played on a grid. You're shooting bombs at each other. It's really the only one I can think of that's even semi-close.
But this one has that puzzle element that it's kind of sets it apart.
Well, you don't really see a lot of action puzzle. I mean, the thing that draws my mind is Puzzle Fighter. We used to play Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah,
it's a little bit in the same lane anyway. But this one is you take the the battle royale of Smash Brothers or something, and you mix it with the puzzle elements, and you get devil dice.
I think the Smash Brothers comparison is kind of apt because it's like if you ever play Smash Brothers, it's like chaotic and everyone's doing their own
It's
thing.
everyone versus everyone
Yeah.
simultaneously on the same board.
Yeah, and the only thing I can compare this to is when you're doing this with five players, it's like it's hectic and chaotic. And it's
Yeah, and there's a lot of things you're trying to pay attention to. Like, first off, you want to start a combo, but you don't want it to get stolen by someone else. And then when you do start a combo and the dice start dropping, if you drop with them, you end up on the floor, as opposed to if you can get onto another die. And once you're on the floor, then it's a nightmare.
People just run over
Because you can get run over.
Yeah.
You can't get back up unless you just happen to jump on a die that's rising from the ground, and you only have a 2-second window to hit that. Meanwhile, everyone's running you over. You can push dice, which there's a little extra, I guess, strategy to that, pushing the dice around and trying to combo off of that. But for the most part, you're just trying to get back up on top of the dice.
so yeah. One of my main strategies was, if I didn't feel like thinking about building my own combo chain, because half the time, if you're building your own combo chain, someone's lurking around you, and then go to try to steal it. So I would be the person who's going around trying to steal other people's combos.
And
So
it worked out for you very well every single game.
It's like you were expert at trying to steal the
you
combos.
nerds. I don't want to.
So the next level would be, after you get your combo going, make sure you have another die in the wings that you can jump onto, that you can roll to that number on the chain. So as soon as someone steals it, you can just instantly flip it over and make sure you're stealing it back.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
Sperry,
that's way next leveling it.
Tell me, on the scale of 1 to 10, how bad does it feel when you've built a combo of six dice? So the 6 of the dice that are on the 6s, and you're watching it fall, and then someone comes over and just steals it.
It's
to
like
10.
it's like a 7.9.
It's rage-inducing.
Yeah, because there's a small chance that maybe you can get it back, and that makes it even more sweet.
Yeah.
Of course, then if you lose it again, then it moves up to like a 11.9. But then if you get it back, then it's sweet. But then if someone steals it again, then you're at like
How
100.9.
rage-inducing is it after you've made a combo, someone steals your combo, and you fall into the ground, and then they run over you?
At that point, you just unless you're gonna throw your controller through the TV to make sure that there's no more games, you might as well just give up because it's too painful.
Clark, tell me, playing it today, can you kind of compare about how was feeling today and how we used to play it back in the day?
Well, I was telling these guys when we used to play it back in the day. We did those big and those were fun. But my biggest memory is actually playing with Sperry right here in this room.
This is the place. This is where the magic happens. This is our.
And it's like exactly the same as I remember. Maybe the pictures grew up with the people.
This picture right here that was behind. There's a guy playing chess for those who on audio. This was back in there when we were in high school.
Yeah.
So it's been.
So anyway, I was just bringing it up that my biggest memory of it was staying up until 3 a.m. with Brian Sperry because we got sucked into it, but we weren't playing the competitive mode. There was a mode that you can kind of work together to clear the field and to keep the field from filling up with dice, because if the field fills up with dice, then you lose. And so we were just trying to go as long as you can, and that was my biggest memory, and I having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Brian and I just tried that out just not too long ago, and I had fun playing it.
There's a lot more. You have a lot more strategy that you can, and you can create combos a lot better and work together. The chaos is gone to where it's a lot more.
It seems a little bit more like a pure experience.
Payoffs.
Yeah.
Because anytime I was when we were playing together, anytime I tried to intentionally think about, because there's strategies that you can obviously do, and you need to practice to really think that way, because you need to roll your dice in certain patterns to get certain numbers into different places on the board, and you need to kind of think three-dimensionally or a few steps ahead to do that.
Right.
But when you're playing in that mode, it just all that kind of just goes out the window because it's just too much stuff going on. So I think the times that I remember the most about this game having fun is doing that like co-op mode.
Now, you're talking a little bit about the strategy. Can you kind of briefly just like base level strategy and describe it, or is it too hard to describe?
Well, I mean, I can try. So, I mean, on a base, you need to understand a little bit what the way a dice works. So, and it tells you, like when you boot it up, and I would not have known this if I didn't watch the boot up screen. Like the opposite sides of the dice always equal 7. So as you're rolling around, if you're on a 4, you know directly underneath you is going to be a 3. So if you're working on 3s, then you need to line it up so that 2 steps is going to line you up for a 3.
Yeah.
And then there's other strategies, like if you look at the side of the dice that you're like right below that you're standing on, like on the side, as you roll, it always stays the same. So if you have a 2 that's like, to us it would be facing the screen. As you roll, the 2 just stays there, and so that helps you to also be able to visualize, okay, if I need to get a 2 over into this spot, you flip it to the side, you run it over, and then you flip it up.
Flip it up one time to get to the one that you want.
So those are some of the general strategies, but honestly what usually ends up happening is just so hectic that like a chain starts going down and you just hop on a dice and you just start rolling.
I was like,
that's right.
I'm like, I better get a 6 on this thing, and you just roll around the dice that are slowly moving to the ground. And that's
and with so many other players all playing at the same time, they're constantly stealing the dice that you have lined up in your chain and rolling them to something else, so your chain is disappearing, and they're constantly jumping on your own dice, and then you start fighting over directions. And one other thing I noticed that's maybe I guess maybe this has to deal with the how well is it holding up aspect, which I don't know, maybe you want to cover later, but the controller itself, you're using the D-pad, not the actual stick, which might actually be better since the game is on a precise grid and it's a precise left, right, up, and down, but it sure doesn't feel better.
Yeah, so we were playing on a PS2, so we had the Dual Shocks that have the analog controls on it.
Yeah.
But this was made for it was a PlayStation game.
Did the PS1 not have the sticks?
They did later.
Came later.
Yeah.
But this one was designed with just the normal D-pads in mind.
Man,
I found that sometimes it was hard because maybe it's just because I'm used to using an analog stick now, that I couldn't quite pilot it the way I wanted to.
The diagonals are just a little wonky.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also kind of weird because it's on an like the field is isometric to you, so it's more like diagonals.
Yeah, I guess
and so
true.
Like which direction is up, you kind of get a feel for which direction is actually up when you hit up, because the field is sort of turned diagonally towards you.
Yeah. Is there anything else about this multiplayer game that we failed to mention? I would just say the way it works in the scoring is you start with 100
in that
life
particular mode.
In that particular round. You start with 100 life, and every time someone makes like a combo, say they make 2 2s, and it starts going down. If it goes all the way down, all their opponents lose 4 life.
I did notice that some of the damage was being dealt almost immediately, at least when it came down to 2 players. So like when there was 2 players left after 3 players had been eliminated, once the combo was made and started going down, the other guy took damage. So I don't know. I was trying to pay attention to exactly when damage happened, and I don't know if it changed.
So maybe if you
on a heads up,
depending on what time you comboed onto it, maybe you didn't get the full points.
Yeah.
So
at some point, yeah, you deal damage to everyone else based on the number of pips that are disappearing. And then if it gets stolen, then that person is then doing that much damage to everyone else.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly precisely when. Actually, I would have liked to. I wish I would have been paying a little bit more attention to exactly when the damage happened, because when you steal it, I wonder if it happened twice. Like it happened initially when you first started the combo, and then when someone stole it, then they did the damage again, or did they just do the additional damage that they added on?
Yeah, I don't think we understand that nuance.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little too complex. But for me, like, I need to know that stuff.
You've got that competitive
matters.
That's a competitive part of you, huh, Sperry, where you have to get that you have to get and understand the game perfectly in order to be the best.
It's more like, it's more like, let me try and make up for my lack of skill with a little bit better knowledge of what's going on. Like, maybe if I know how the game works, it'll give me a little edge because I'm not nearly as good actually playing it as you guys are.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the story of this game. I'm going to throw this over to Clark. What's the story and lore of this game, Clark?
Well, you see, it's really deep.
Yeah.
At least we're doing a good job of making it sound like it.
Yeah. You obviously play as Satan's minions,
okay,
trying to entrap people who are playing like dice games, right? Craps, because we were talking about craps earlier, right? So those are obviously the sinners. So you're trying to do whatever you can to try. I don't know. There's no story in this game. You're just cute little devils.
But there are lightning bolts, so like maybe that's the
Is
other
that God?
side.
Is that
yeah,
God?
that's like God trying to like tell you that you shouldn't be doing this.
But the lightning bolts are creating more dice, and God doesn't like games of chance. You know this, right?
But he does create.
That's true. He's creating the dice so the devils are in perpetual sin. Oh, yeah. There's no story here. It's just they're just cute devils.
Okay. I mean, like the game is really basic. There's like the wars. That's what we were doing, right? It's like that's the
1v1 v1 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 v1.
That's like the battle arena. Then there's the puzzle mode. We talked about that. Then there's the mode that is like either single player or two player, where you try to keep the board clear and survive as long as you can. And is there one that I'm missing?
There was one other 1v1 mode where you go against one other person, either a human or a computer. And what you try to do is you make your combos. So if you make your twos, it shows that you've created the two combo. Now you have that two combo. And then what you're trying to do is you're trying to collect the most combo, fill up your like
4 combos.
Like you try to get
4 different.
You can change it up to 6. So
you can.
Yeah, we had it set up to 4.
Oh, interesting.
So the first person, if you get all if you are the devil that has the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 combo, you win. Which I don't think that would be very.
That would take forever.
That would take forever. And then
I'm down. I mean, I brought Wiener Schnitzel, man. Let's go. I'm in for the long haul.
So and then. So we did a timed version of this, but I think when you and Sperry played against each other, Sperry, it was you that beat him by getting all your combos full?
Yeah, I won by getting the combos full, but I lost to you on time, not knowing how that worked.
Yeah,
you guys were tied in the number of combos you had.
I had higher combos.
You had the 6 and the 1 for a total of 7, and I had the 2 and the 3 for a total of 5.
Yeah,
and it showed you as the winner because of that.
Yes,
and that's really all to the game. It's just those modes, and it's not a very complicated game.
I did notice though on each of those modes there was a lot of customized options though, like we were just talking about, where you could make an endless mode or various different types of time. You could make different size grids. And in fact, if I had my way, I would love to see what the game plays like on like a 60 by 60 grid. Some enormous, because especially when you have 5 people, the grid is what is that, like a 15 by 15 maybe, if even that big.
Okay, we're workshopping here, like what can make this game better. Maybe Battle Royale Devil Dice. You start with like 100 people on a huge thing, and then the field slowly gets smaller and smaller.
So here's my first thought is, as soon as, let's see, everybody couldn't just start out with 100 health, because then one person would just win on the spot.
You'd have to start with 500 health or something.
There'd have to be a way to maybe get health back, and then
maybe when you did combos, you also gained some life.
You gain life equal to the damage you're dealing, and then whenever anyone dies, everybody else remaining just gets like a bonus 10 health.
So this would be like a PUBG, but Devil Dice.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. Or like a Tetris 99.
Tetris 99. Yeah. And there was a Mario game like that too, right?
Mario 35.
Yeah.
I never.
They took it away. So for Mario's 35th anniversary, they did this thing, and it was literally 35 Marios on the screen at once, and it was just who could last the longest. You can send enemies to other people's screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, we're already kind of talking about this, but how does this game hold up today? Like, would you recommend, like, if you're going to like some dude's party and you had this game in tow, would you bring it and like?
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, I think we need to bring it back. And I'm going to segue just a little bit into we played the second one.
Bombastic.
Bombastic.
Yeah.
And I felt, so we only just briefly played it. But just the changes between the first and the second one, at least like feel-wise, was great. I don't know, we didn't play it enough to really, I don't know if the gameplay was worth worrying about it. Just stick with the first one.
Yeah.
But I can see how if that game had evolved over time the way Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy has, since they all came out at the same time, the first ones, right? If this game had done it the way they had done it and it was still out, it'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. But even as is, like, I've told multiple people since we had talked about doing this, I've explained it to a lot of old retro gamers because nobody knows what it is. I haven't met one person who's ever heard of it,
game,
let alone played it. But as I've explained it to them, of course they get excited because gamers get excited. But when you play it, it's like, this game is awesome. Yeah. It's a party game it's not as long as, Mario Party, but it's every bit as hectic and awesome.
If you have a good group playing it, I would definitely recommend. You need people who are just maybe a little bit competitive, get into it, understand what's going on, and it's a really good time if you got that going.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add, like, you could know nothing about the game and almost just kind of hop into it instantly and just run around and steal people's stuff. And you don't even have to know that much. And just like stir.
Hand a controller to a kid and it's just
just stir the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got everything you want in a sit down and plug and play with friends.
Yeah. So as a party game, I think this game holds up today, and I think a version of this game maybe a little updated. You could maybe throw some like roguelike elements in there or something. I don't know, but I think a game like this could.
You're blowing my mind because now I'm like, making it a roguelike, making it a.
Well, that's kind of a joke we have.
Royale.
That's kind of a joke that we have about our game is like, how do we update retro games to today? Make it a roguelike.
I mean, it's working for everything. Yeah. It's working for everything.
Making it a roguelike breeds fresh slice and anything. But this game, it works just as a party game. I think if you pulled this game out anywhere at any party where you have 5 PS1 controllers out and you can play it, you're gonna have a blast. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Did you know that this game is largely forgotten? In Japan, they had some more sequels than we had. We got Bombastic eventually, but it was referenced in a game last year in Astrobot. Either of you played Astrobot? No.
It's a PS5, right?
It's a PS5 game. You go around and you rescue robots, but they are all not all of them, but some of them have costumes from PS1 history games. Like you get Solid Snake and you get like Cloud and stuff. But there is a Devil Dice guy that you save in this game, and there's like a little there's a little arena with dice in it where you get the bot. So it did reference it. So Sony does know that it exists somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not sure. We have Clark's dog Peter. He's hunting around here for chili dogs. So,
he got some fries and
maybe we should take a quick break and I'll put him outside.
Yeah, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll just kind of give our final thoughts on the game.
Okay.
Sounds good.
we've come to a conclusion here. We've convened and we've thought about this game. We've played it, and we're here to give a final stamp on whether this game holds up today or not. So, Sperry, we actually have a ranking system that we use. It's basically 1 to 6. Like 6 is like
Think of a tier ranking.
it's a
system.
tier ranking. So.
Okay.
So if you're gonna rank this between 6 is like the apps. Like if this game came out today, it'd be one of the best games of this year. And
Gotcha.
like, it's A+ game.
Like no game is really going to get that.
Yes.
No.
So 5 would be, this is a good game, and I love playing this game, and I pull it out and play it all the time. And like 4 would be like, yeah, this game is fun to play out and play every once in a while, and it was a great game then, but maybe it's like nostalgia might not do it. And like 3 is like, yeah, I mean, I'll pull it off and play 5 or 10 minutes, but.
So is this coming from the point of view of an older lifetime gamer, or are you saying like with the kids?
This is your perspective.
For me.
This is your
For me.
personal ranking. Yep, this is just for you. So,
Okay.
just so you know, I'm going to throw it over to Clark first.
Yeah.
He's going to give his ranking and describe why he gave it
That's
his
great.
ranking, and then we'll go to you, and then we'll go to me. So.
Sounds good.
So I had a lot of fun playing it. I would probably rank it at 3.5, with the high ranking being kind of contingent that you have some good buddies to play with, because like any other sort of party game, you really can only go as far as the people around you. So it's pretty shallow too. Like I'm not really going to ever boot this up and play by myself. So like there's really no reason to do that in my mind, unless I want to practice and try to beat Sperry.
You're just going to sit there and get good so you can
Get
dominate
good.
Sperry.
Go through the puzzle modes.
Yeah. No, but like, so 3.5 is where I will land. I will absolutely, like, when we get together, I'd love to pull this out in the future and play through it. It's something, though, that, like, I think once I get my fill, I'm okay to put it back on the shelf for a little while.
All right, Spare. Have you had enough time to think about what you're going to rank it?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that I'm gonna maybe use to set up first. So I'm thinking, like, if this game comes out on Marketplace and it's on the Game Pass or PS Plus, and if it's online multiplayer or with your friends, right? Let's say you can invite your friends or just play with randoms. I'm gonna rank it higher than the actual PlayStation one, where you have to physically have your friends playing on the same screen.
For the sake of this discussion, let's say you can do online multiplayer.
Okay. Then I'd say maybe 4.5 actually. I guess I'm just making the assumption that it would be a more modernized version. Even the old one still, it feels fine. Even the older version, I wouldn't think they'd need to add too much to it to make it great. And if you, as far as like the game itself goes, just playing, it's the kind of game I would come back to in between my big chunky Destinies, and in between my big chunky games. It's the little ones that you just want to play something when you get home from work, but you don't want to like dig in. I would say 4.5. I'd come back to it over and over.
4.5. That's a high rankings things. All right. So in keeping with the spirit and how I usually do this, I'm going to give this a 3.6.
Maybe I'm a little bit optimistic.
No. Like one of the reasons I picked up the multi-tap that I have right now for my PlayStation 2 is so I could play Devil Dice. And this is really the first time I've had a chance to play it. So the problem being is what Clark said, is getting a group together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of hard to do. If you had the ability to play through Steam or PlayStation, whatever, some multiplayer like that, yes, I would think I would play this game a lot more. Like this would be fun. Like if you could just get together once a month with your buds and play. And it's a great party game. So I'm going to give it a 3.6. So
The Price is Right me.
Yeah, $1.
So that puts our grade at 3.866 as a panel here. So the TwinCast gives Devil Dice for the PlayStation 3.86. So I would
think
say
that's fair.
check it out. It's fun if you have a chance to play this game.
It's like one of those really lost gems. Like we talk about like games that are kind of lost to time. Like hidden gems. Like, this totally qualifies as that.
I
Yeah.
have actually tried finding this game. It's hard to find. I mean, I get you could just go online and most likely find everything, but
You can do it on an emulator, obviously.
Yeah.
You can get it on
True.
PSP and
Oh,
PS3.
interesting.
Yes, so if you still have your PS3 around, you can go buy it as a PlayStation Classic on your PS3.
oh, sick.
So, and if you have other than that, that's the only ways you can play it legally.
Well, yeah, you go to a retro game shop and they probably won't have it there.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to have to get it on eBay and roll the dice on the quality of the scratches on the discs.
Right. Yeah, it's true. But I think it's fun to try and hunt the games down at my local stores. That's always my default before I go on Amazon and give some random my money.
But at the very least, go check out some gameplay, like on YouTube or whatever, because it's hectic fun and it's a well-designed game. And I'd love to see something more along this line in the future, if possible. I know it's pretty low chance, but
Well, let's bring it back. Let's
let's go buy the license for this game and let's develop our own.
Heck yeah. That's brilliant. Ooh, if we made a phone version, I mean, that's just like instantly in 10 million people's hands.
Yeah.
Then,
Microtransactions.
yeah.
No, we got to keep that away.
The evil empire here.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Like, you roll the dice, and that's how much you have to pay for the skin.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for our conversation on Devil Dice. Thanks, Sperry, for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you
My
next
pleasure.
time.
Does this go for big heads? Oh, yeah. For fat heads.
Got a big melon.
Yeah. Cranium buster.
Big head, big brain.